according to dating. Now, dating according to the book of Ruth. Now, what brought me to this book? This is a book that I always wanted to break down, and Roti can tell you, man, for the longest, man, I've been talking about breaking down.
We've been talking about this one
for a while, breaking down books of the scriptures. But what made me jump into this book of Ruth, is that so many women, whether you want to call them Christian or not, or whether you want to say they live in their life according to how a quote unquote Christian should be living their life or whatever, when they have relationship issues, a lot of women say, you know, God will speak to them and tell them to pursue the book of Ruth. And I'm gonna just be honest, I feel like a lot of women, I think they lean on that for safety.
What do you mean?
I don't think a lot of the women who say that that God speaks to them about the book of Ruth, God is talking to them about the book of Ruth. I don't believe. I think that's something that is easier for them to have hope in, because every woman, I don't know a woman who is walking the earth that I personally know, who doesn't feel like she deserves a Boaz in her life. I don't know no woman who said, no, I deserve a Judas Iscariot. I don't deserve a Boaz. I deserve a Judas. I don't care what type of life a woman is walking in. She feel like she deserves a man, a Boaz figure, who is going to come and be her knight in shining armor, give her what she need, be the overseer of her life, and give her what she needs to be able to change for the better, or to live a better, more prosperous life. I don't know a woman who's saying, I don't want that.
For the people that don't really understand where we're going with it, who was Ruth and who was Boaz, just like before we get into it, you know what I'm saying? Biblically, who are these people? Who are these people?
Ruth. Oh man. I got the scriptures to play it. It'll break it down, but let me just break it down real quick. There was a man named Elimelech. He was married to a woman named Naomi. She had two sons. They had two sons, Mylon and Shylon, I believe. Now, Mylon and Shylon end up marrying two women, Ruth and Orpah. Right? So Elimelech, the father, he ends up dying, which made Naomi a widow. And then Mylon and Shylon end up dying too.
Gotcha.
The sons, which made the two daughter-in-laws, Orpah and Ruth, widows too.
Widows, yeah.
So you have the mother-in-law who's a widow and the two daughter-in-laws that's widows now. So you have three women that are widows. And as the story progresses, the mother-in-law telling the two daughters, y'all go back to your country, go back and be with your family, go back and be with where you came from, because there's nothing I have for you. My sons have died. Like you're no longer married. You're no longer here. Like you're free. Like go back with your family. There's no need for you to stay around me.
Yeah.
Well, it's called a destiny moment. And what happened is Ruth and Orpah were both faced with destiny moments. Ruth recognized the destiny moment. Orpah didn't.
Gotcha.
Ruth was like, I know where I came from. I know what I'm up against where I came from. There's nothing for me back there. So she recognized, I still got to keep moving forward with my life.
She had to make a choice.
But she had to recognize that moment of, do I move forward? Do I go back? Exactly. Orpah decided, I'm at this crossroads. Going forward going to be too hard. It's uncertain. I'm going to go back to what I know what it is, because I can maneuver what I know I got.
I'm comfortable with that.
I'm comfortable. I can maneuver what I'm comfortable with. I know what's back there for me. I can handle that. But going forward and not knowing, going forward and not understanding the God that my mother-in-law served, because the only reason why I serve that God is because I'm married to her son. So I'm serving it via, I'm married into her God. I'm not 100%. I don't 100% believe the God that she says she served. So she went back. She left. This is all about moving forward with God and leaving God. So Orpah left God and went back, you know, and Ruth went forward. And let's just say, you know, yeah, it was uncertain. She didn't know what was gonna happen, but she met her type of Christ. You know, she met her type of Christ, and she went forward. And if I could speak to Ruth today, I bet she'll say, "Oh, I'm glad I didn't look back." You know what I mean?
Yeah, because like you say, you know, I've heard a lot of you know, women around the way, or you know, in my life personally, say they want a Boaz and they're looking for it. You know, I hear Ruth and Boaz, but then you don't really hear how, I don't hear most people break it down how you broke it down. You know, with the choice, and you know how Ruth had to, let's just say, be a certain way, or you know, do something that was hard. You know what I mean? She didn't take the easy route. Right. You know what I mean? So okay, you know, you say you want a Boaz, are you willing to do what it takes to get one though? You know, but that's, you know, that's first, you know, that's later on in the show, I guess. You know,
You want this. Boaz is a type of prize. Now, what I'm saying is, I'm not saying that men are only the prize and women are not the prize. I'm not saying that.
Yeah.
If you want this thing called a prize in life,
yes,
are you willing to do what it takes to get that prize?
Exactly.
If you want this notoriety in life, are you willing to do what it takes? If you want this platform in life, are you willing to do what it takes? If you want this quote unquote great good life, are you willing to do what it takes to get there? Are you willing to keep going forward?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because you ain't going back and getting. There's no promise behind you.
Yeah.
The promise is in front of you.
Yeah.
So are you willing to keep going forward and building a relationship with God? Because going forward makes you accountable of building a relationship with God. You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
Is going forward makes you accountable to what type of relationship you build with God. Now, this is the problem. You can go forward, but it's up to you to what type of relationship you're going to build with God. How are you going to seek God? Because God don't gotta seek you. This is the thing. God don't gotta seek you. And God ain't sitting there just saying every step you move forward, he moving forward too, to making it hard for you to catch him. No. You know?
Yeah.
God is sitting in our purpose, waiting for us.
Yeah, he is.
But are you accountable enough to pursue God, to get this prize in life?
Very true.
Are you willing to fight the uncertainties to get this God? You know, so now so Boaz ended up being, you know, the greatest thing that ever happened, you know, to Ruth. And with that being said, you know, a lot of people are I could take this book a whole bunch of different ways, because there's a real big spiritual, a real big a divine aspect to it that's way more deeper than this. I'm just going to stick to a dating aspect of breaking down this book of Ruth.
Yeah,
that's what I'm doing. So, because there's a lot of women who always say, you know, God is calling them to go read this book, but I think they only are enticed. They only enticed by the end game, and the end game is getting Boaz.
Get Boaz, exactly.
Well, guess what, man? It takes getting Boaz ain't easy.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. Getting Boaz ain't easy.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So, with that being said, man, let's jump into it. We're gonna get into these scriptures. Roti, and we gonna pretty much let the book of Ruth play, and I'm gonna stop it at certain points, and we're gonna talk about certain points that I want these women, and I want men to understand this too, because this is not just for women, even though it's geared towards women. This is not just for women. This is for men too, because you got to understand, if I'm letting the women know what they need to do, it's easy to know where you should be standing or where you should be aiming to be at. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So let me go ahead and get into this my share screen, and you can see that on Roti.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So what's going to happen is I'm going to be bouncing back and forth from screen to screen as this thing plays. And so it's going to be a lot going on, but I want people to bear with us, because it's going to be something it's going to be something that I feel like that's going to be helpful for a lot of people.
Yeah.
All right. Let me turn my volume up so people will be able to hear the scriptures or read the scripture. All right. That should be a better view.
Yeah.
All right. Let's go with it.
The book of Ruth, chapter 1.
Turn up a little more, my brother.
All right. Let's see if you can hear it down.
Us in the days when the judges ruled that there was a famine in the land.
Okay. I sound too loud to you, Roti?
No, you good. You good.
Okay. All right. I don't want to sound too loud.
Yeah.
And it says, now it came to pass in the days when the judges ruled that there was a famine in the land. That's what I want. That's what I want people to understand first. Now it came a time in past when the judges ruled. Let me click back on my StreamYard page. Now, when the judges ruled, if you go to the book of Judges, in the very, very, very last few scriptures in the book of Judges, when the judges ruled, there was a time where everybody kind of lived as they wanted to live. You know, people were judged when they had actions. So judges are like judges of today. You know, people lived however they wanted to live. Whatever man wanted to do, man was free to do. Whatever women wanted to do, women was pretty much free to do. It kind of reminds you of the day, right?
Yeah, it do.
Wide open, and a lot of people looking at life as like, well, long as I don't get caught, I'm good.
Yeah.
Long as I don't get caught,
yeah,
I'm good.
As long as I ain't hurt nobody else.
Long as I ain't hurt nobody else, I'm straight. There's no ramifications. There's no nothing, because you know,
I'm doing me.
I'm doing me. This is an exact parallel of where we're living at today. Now, it says that there was a famine in the land. Back then, the famine in the land back then represented there was a scarcity of food, a lack of food, you know, a lack of resources.
Yeah,
to a degree. That famine in the land today, this is what I want women to understand about that famine in the land, which is occurring in 2021. The famine in the land today, because a lot of women who feel like God is drawing them to explore the book of Ruth, your famine in the land today is finding a man who's living godly. It's finding a man who's living holy. It's finding a man who's living his life by the scriptures to where he can lead you in the life of living holy, where he can lead you in the life of living according to God. That's your famine in the land today. Your famine in the land today is finding a holy man. And the reality of it is, most men who are striving to live holy are already possibly in church and are already married. Don't get me wrong. You have a few brothers who are single, who are still striving to be holy. But for the masses of women who are looking for this type of man, it's a real scarcity. Why? Because there's a lot of people. Now you got to understand, I don't have a statistic, I can't give you a statistical number, but for a lot of women who are saying they are called to a scriptural book, that means God is not calling you to a scriptural book looking for an unholy man.
Yeah, it don't work like that.
It don't work like that. God is not calling you to study scriptural principle to find an unholy man. Which what I'm telling you is God is not telling you, I want you to live holy, to go find some joker that you got to hope he want to get his life right according to God. Mm-hmm. God is not calling you to do that.
Exactly.
So the first thing I want you to know is, if you look in the book of Corinthians, right? The book of Corinthians. In the book of Corinthians, chapter 7, around verse 39, it says, a woman, she is at liberty to marry to whom she will. She is at liberty to marry to whom she will. That means you have a choice to pick the husband you want, which means for all you women thinking that God got this man aligned for you, you have to pick this man. You have to notice this man. Not saying that you have to chase this man. No. You have to notice this man. And it says to marry only in the Lord. So if God is calling you to a book of scriptural principle, he's calling you to put yourself in the position of a man who's in the Lord. As you say, you're in the Lord. Now, what women have to understand, how in the Lord are you really are? How in the Lord are you really living? If you saying you want this Boaz type figure, who is a man of morals, who is a man who lives for God, how do you want this man of holiness if you are not positioning yourself to be a holy woman? Because I'm gonna be honest with you, a holy man should have to come out here and deal with an unholy woman and wait for her to want to walk with God.
She's already in the midst of walking with him already.
She should already be in the midst. See, what y'all need to understand, and this is for men and women.
Yeah,
you have to want to be holy for yourself before you even think about dating. You should want to be holy for self. Just in case God snatched the breath out of your body, you are still practicing and living holy for God. Because at the end of the day, let's be honest, your husband and your wife, God just loaned them to you for a time. God owns you. You are God's. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So a lot of people who are seeking to be married won't even make it to marriage because God gonna take them home before. So you need to be living holy just on the principles of you're walking with God anyway.
Let me ask you a question, brother. Because like I said, we've heard this a lot, and in midst talking to certain women, certain people, why is who was Boaz? Because you said he was holy, you know what I mean? But like, is that all? If you could describe Boaz in, like, let's just say 10 words or whatever, why do women nowadays want Boaz? Is it just because he's holy?
Well, no. Well, see, you have to understand the women's ideology of Boaz nowadays is just social economic status. Money,
right?
Money.
He was rich, wasn't he?
Boaz was a wealthy man. That was good. And that's what people have to understand. Boaz is not just a man of wealth.
Yeah.
This is a man of favor. You could have favor and not have money. You have to understand, King Solomon didn't ask for God to make him rich. He asked for God to make him wise. And God's wisdom brought him the riches. You see what I'm saying? Boaz was wisdom.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Boaz was leadership. You see what I'm saying? Boaz was protection. Boaz was way more than just money.
Exactly.
Boaz was love. Boaz was understanding. Boaz was understanding where this woman came from, because you got to think about it. As we get deep into the book of Ruth, Ruth was a Moabitess woman. Boaz shouldn't even, based on the world, Boaz shouldn't even be paying attention to her, because she came from a place that was undesired.
Yep.
You see what I'm saying?
Exactly.
But you got to have a man of understanding that see through.
See past that.
See past that. Where the world is telling you, the world around him is telling her, man, look at all these beautiful women you got over here that's of Bethlehem, Judea. You know what I'm saying? Look at all these beautiful women from your land. Why you worry about an undesirable woman from somewhere else? Boaz had something he had to recognize too.
Exactly.
You see what I'm saying? Boaz had a destiny moment that he had to recognize as well. That's what men got to understand. So for women, Boaz is not just money. Stop looking at men as if they're just money.
Yes.
Because as you see time and time again, you could get a man with money all day long. He's still abusive. He still don't love God. He still don't love his family. He don't love his kids. He don't love you as a wife. He don't know what a wife is. He don't know what a husband is. Money is not the end all be all. There's more to being a provider and a protector than money.
Yes.
That's a whole other topic, because
it is.
That goes back to the days of Adam. Women have to understand, man, a provider is more than money, man. Especially in this rigged up society as a black man, where they make it hard for us outside of doing sports and entertainment and chasing a few minor degrees, in which our whole community, they're not going to let our whole community go get degrees. So guess what? A lot of us men got to go and put their foot to the shovel and put their hand in the soil and work hard every day. So if you understand, and you say you understand us as black men, you should understand where we in society. You know what I'm saying? That everybody ain't going to be able to access these riches. And you got to understand that man is Boaz in a different way, outside of just socioeconomic status, outside of the money. You know?
It's true.
But that's a whole indoctrination of a thought process that has to be detoxed from this culture. You know,
because like I said, man, I'm agreeing with you. My personal opinion, when I hear Boaz, I don't think, I know what I think, but like I say, in my opinion, when I believe that, a woman says she's looking for a Boaz, I believe that she's thinking about riches and not the holy part of it. I think she's thinking about riches first. You know what I'm saying? The rich man.
Most of them only think about riches only. Period.
Yeah, you're not really thinking about the holy part of it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Most of them only think about riches only.
Yeah, period. So if you really want to Boaz, that means you got to be holy, because he was holy. He was, like you said, he was holy first. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Then he was rich and all that. You know what I mean? But
so you
holy not going to be with unholy. You know what I mean? Like you said.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that two a holy person and a holy person cannot be joined together, because, like, you understand, you make a choice. Just like Corinthians says, as a woman, she is at liberty to marry to whom she wills. Whom she wills. Whom she wills means that God ain't got a particular person set aside for you. It's who you choose.
Who you choose.
As a man, he's willing to be married to whom he will.
Exactly.
God ain't got this person that's sitting away from. It's your choice.
Yep. To
do the research on a person that you want to marry.
Yep.
And doing the research on a person takes what? Patience. It takes patience.
Time.
It takes time. It takes sacrifice. And it takes sacrifice of not intertwining yourself with that person. Yep. Because intertwining yourself with that person confuses things.
Oh, yeah.
You gotta sit there and really get to learn a person without sacrifice giving yourself up to a person.
Yeah.
Why? Because you're going to see if that person is there for your flesh or really there for your heart, and really want the best for your soul.
Mm-hmm.
But that takes patience. Yeah. A lot of people don't got that.
Yeah.
You know, like the scripture says, a woman, she's at liberty to marry whom she will. But they only advise her, marry only in the Lord. Marry only in the Lord, which leads to 2 Corinthians 6:14. Be ye not unequally yoked to unbelievers. If he's seeking holiness, he should want a woman that's seeking holiness. Being unequally yoked with unbelievers has nothing to do with socioeconomic status. As you can see, Job was a holy man. But guess what? He lost a lot.
A whole lot.
Down. He lost a lot to where his wife even told him to curse God. His own wife.
Curse God and die.
Curse God and die. His own wife told him that. So don't tell me that you can't be holy and you can't go through seasons. Being holy not about just money.
Yep.
You see what I'm saying? So
true.
Being unequally yoked with unbelievers has to do with your belief system. Through thick and thin, through the ups and downs, are we gonna stand firm on what we believe in God? You can't have a woman you can't have a man who only want to believe God when it's good, but when it get bad, you want to believe the world. You can't have a woman who only want to believe God when it's good, but when it's bad, want to believe the world, want to operate with the world.
Can't serve two masters.
You can't serve two masters. Either we gonna ride God all the way through, or we not gonna ride with God at all. It has nothing to do with the money, because money comes and goes.
They do.
I just seen many of people who've had financial downfalls. And it ain't even to even teach them a lesson. It's to teach people around them a lesson. But they gotta go through it. Why? Because people are looking at them as their God. But that's a whole nother broadcast.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, true that.
So don't be unequally yoked with unbelievers has nothing to do with your bank account. Why? We've been seeing too many millionaires who have been together. She making millions, he making millions. They fighting on each other every day, fighting, kicking, scratching each other. That ain't holy. It has nothing to do with your money, which is another thing, ladies. Y'all are making more money than ever before. Y'all are making more money than ever before. You claim to be a holy woman. You claim to be a woman in seek of God. Have you ever thought that God gave you and granted you the resources to really be a helpmeet and build that man up? He already a leader. He just don't got the money yet. He got the vision. Maybe you was meant to finance the vision. That was your helpmeet to his vision. Have you ever thought about that? Instead of just, well, I make this much and I need a man who makes twice as much as I. Have y'all ever thought about that? See, when you got to take your emotions out of this, because you don't know how God is trying to use you in your abundant season. Now, I'm not saying that every woman who make more money should. I'm not saying that every woman who makes a lot of money gonna go pursue some man who ain't making half of what she making. I'm not saying that's gonna happen, because that's unrealistic. Because a lot of women gonna just look naturally at life and just they're not gonna want to do it. God, even with God, even with knowing how God works upstairs, they not gonna want to do it. They're not. They're gonna tell you, God gonna send me somebody who makes twice as more than God gonna send me what I want. Well, there also says in the scripture that God allowed people to believe a strong delusion about what they already have in their mind. So you'll spend days out here chasing a man who got all this money, when a man sitting on the vision.
Overlook him.
You overlook the man sitting on the vision, but he's striving, he's struggling. You know, because he ain't making the money that you make. But let's keep moving on. Let's keep moving on within the scriptures. All right, because I got a lot to ride through now. It says we're gonna let the scriptures play out. Oh, I'm tripping.
And a certain man of Bethlehem, Judah, went to sojourn in the country of Moab, he and his wife and his 2 sons. And the name of the man was Elimelech, and the name of his wife Naomi, and the name of his 2 sons Mahlon and Chilion, Ephrathites of Bethlehem, Judah. And they came into the country of Moab and continued there. And Elimelech, Naomi's husband, died, and she was left and her 2 sons. And they took them wives of the women of Moab. The name of the one was Orpah, and the name of the other Ruth. And they dwelled there about 10 years. And Mahlon and Chilion died also, both of them, and the woman was left of her 2 sons and her husband. Then she arose with her daughters-in-law, that she might return from the country of Moab. For she had heard in the country of Moab how that the Lord had visited his people in giving them bread. Wherefore she went forth out of the place where she was, and her 2 daughters-in-law with her, and they went on the way to return unto the land of Judah. And Naomi said unto her 2 daughters-in-law, Go, return each to her mother's house. The Lord deal kindly with you, as ye have dealt with the dead and with me. The Lord grant you that ye may find rest, each of you in the house of her husband. Then she kissed them, and they lifted up their voice and wept. And they said unto her, Surely we will return with thee unto thy people. And Naomi said, Turn again, my daughters, why will ye go with me? Are there yet any more sons in my womb, that they may be your husbands? Turn again, my daughters, go your way, for I am too old to have an husband. If I should say, I have hope, if I should have an husband also tonight, and should also bear sons, would ye tarry for them till they were grown? Would ye stay for them from having husbands? Nay, my daughters, for it grieveth me much for your sakes that the hand of the Lord is gone out against me. And they lifted up their voice and wept again. And Orpah kissed her mother-in-law, but Ruth clave unto her. And she said, Behold, thy sister-in-law is gone back unto her people and unto her gods. Return thou after thy sister-in-law.
Okay. Let's bring this back. Now, this is what I want people to understand right here. Let me turn this mic down. I'm sorry, I'll keep messing with the volume. I don't want to sound too peakish in the audio. I want people to pay attention to what Ruth said. Ruth said, oh, my bad. It's not in verse 1 and 16. It's actually verse 1:15. She said, Behold, thy sister-in-law has gone back to her people and unto her gods. She's gone back. Now, that's the scripture before this. That's 1:15 is what I want y'all to focus on. It says Orpah went back. She went back.
Yeah.
This is what I want women to understand. Once you done left a season in your life, God has shown you that you're better than that season. God has shown you that you was better than life. You know. Now, once you're gone, you're gone. Stop doubling back. Stop going back to where you feel comfortable. I know, just like we said earlier, it's going to be uncertainties moving forward with your life. Orpah went back, and she went to dwell in what she already knew, which means she was going back to do old things that she already done. When you move forward, as Ruth did, when you move forward, you got to move forward and never bring no old habits, which that's another thing I got to realize. So in your dating life, stop bringing old habits into a new dating situation, trying to get the results of this Boaz situation.
Yeah.
If you know this is the type of man you want, and you believe that God is going to bring you this type of person. You can have a man telling you all day, I need to know what a woman feel like before I settle down with her. Well, what that's telling you. The scripture says to avoid fornication, get married. That means to avoid unwed sex, get married. If a man's trying to have unwed sex with you, that's not the man for you. If you know you already been living like that, and that ain't worked for you yet, why you still want to continue to live like that? If you are so used to just use a man for their money and that hasn't worked for you yet, why you still want to move like that? Maybe you want to really sit down and finally get to know a man for more than what his money can bring forth.
Yep.
I see a lot of women every time they get their heart broken in a situation, the first thing they go and yell is, I'm going back to the old me. Why you want to go back to the old you for? That didn't do nothing for you. The old you is why you here trying to realize what you need to do now.
Yeah.
So what is the old you gonna do for you? And that goes both ways with men too.
Yeah, it does. It does.
Cause I see a lot of, and this is how I know when a lot of men heart be broke. Because when they feel like they put their heart into something and it don't go right, the first thing they want to do is say they're going back to the streets. They're getting back on them HOEs.
Yeah. Yeah.
When you move forward, you got to move forward and know that God knows what's best for your life.
Yeah.
You got to move forward. And what Ruth did is she moved forward and she built relationships with holy people. She built a better relationship with her mother-in-law, which was a holy woman. And she started to pay attention to what her mother-in-law was telling her to do. And her mother-in-law was putting her in holy situations.
Yeah.
You got to trust the process. You got to trust that God know what he know. And you got to trust that God is going to lead you. Your understanding and God's understanding are way vastly different. It's two different things.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
You cannot lean on your understanding when you're dating. Your understanding is, in order for me to keep him, I gotta sleep with him. Well, I'm gonna be honest with you. The more you sleep with me, I ain't thinking about marrying you. You done gave it up already.
It's true.
Your most prized possession, you done gave up already.
It's true.
And you steady moving forward, and you steady giving it up to new people, thinking this is going to be the answer.
It's true.
You can't go back, no matter what people think of you, because people are going to hold you to what you used to be. People are going to expect you. People are going to address you how you used to move. Are you strong enough? Are you accountable enough to move forward? To get this to get this God prize in life. Are you accountable enough to get it? Because it's gonna demand something of you.
Yeah, it ain't gonna be easy.
It ain't gonna be easy. It's gonna demand something of you. And I get it. I know a lot of women say, well, it's like every time I turn around, it's like the hoes out there get married. Hey, don't worry about their situation.
Yeah. Worry
about your situation. Don't worry about because you see some woman who's promiscuous and loose, she out there get married. You don't know what her marriage is about. You honestly don't even know if she's even in a marriage that God even condones, because God only condones certain marriages. Don't you understand? You have to be married right. That's why the scripture says marry only in the Lord.
Yeah.
There's a process you have to be married by. So don't worry about what somebody else or what some other else woman or how the world perceives her, and don't worry about no Ciaras, don't worry about no Beyonces and all that, because I'm gonna tell you like this. A lot of y'all women, and a lot of people gonna hate me for this. A lot of y'all women hold Ciara and her marriage with Russell Wilson as goals and high standard. But I'm gonna be honest with you, Russell Wilson ain't her husband. Russell Wilson got a wife. His wife's still living. According to scripture, his wife's still living.
Sure is. They ain't trying to hear that though, bro.
You ain't trying to hear that though.
That chick he married when he was a rookie, wasn't it?
The chick he married when he was a rookie.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people ain't gonna like it because she's a white woman. But that's who he chose to marry. That's his wife.
Mm.
That's the lady he was originally married to. Y'all ain't gonna like it. And I'm not here to crush Sierra dreams and to crush her happiness. That's not my job. But I'm just saying, according to scripture, see, scripture is going to hurt you when you feel it, when you realize the truth.
Mm.
You gotta marry only in the Lord because you gotta know who you're marrying. You gotta know how marriage is supposed to go.
Mm.
I already done told you that a woman is at liberty to marry whom she will. That means you have a choice to marry who you want. Now you got to make sure, am I marrying the right person?
The right person, yep.
Despite what they may have, despite them having all the money in the world to give you the best life possible, are they still the right person according to God?
Mm.
Well, he rich. He take care of me. He pay all the bills. According to God, is he still the right person?
Mm. And like you said, are you the right person? Are you what's her name? Orpha? What Ruth's sister? Are you in that? Are
you Ruth? Are you Orpha?
Exactly. Because Ruth had to do what was hard to go.
Basically.
You know, she had to make a choice to keep going forward. And like you said, that goes for men too. You know, so I can speak personally. You know what I'm saying? I know what type of woman I want. You know what I mean? Right. Be led. You know, have a relationship with the Most High and all that. You know, preferably a virgin. So okay, am I? You know, like I say, can I personally say that I'm living? You know, the way that would deserve that?
Right.
Am I living by the scriptures? Yeah, I am, and that's not even to put myself on a high horse. You know what I mean? So it's just facts. You know, nobody's perfect. I'm not saying I'm perfect.
Yeah,
you
know, nobody's
but if
perfect.
you're talking about scripture, I ain't never laid with nobody. You know what I mean? So I'm not saying.
Aren't you deserving of a woman who never laid with nobody? Aren't you deserving of that?
That's hard. You know how hard that's been.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because we go back a long time.
Yeah.
You know? I could have broke that a long time ago.
Yeah. Aren't you deserving of that? Matter of fact, let me tell you this. Is a woman who got all this money, is a man who's never been out here laying with nobody, hoeing with no women, is he more important? Is his status that he bring amongst his body, is that more important than a man money? Is his health more important?
That's a good question.
Or is his money more important?
Yeah.
Is the fact that is the fact that this man who's never laid with nobody, that when he finally locks onto you and make you his wife, that he's gonna be all about you because he don't know nobody else? Is that more important than money? Is it? See, there's a lot of things that people got to take into accountability. I mean, they have to take into account.
Yeah.
When it comes to these situations, and it's not a hard thing. This is why, when it comes to marrying people, it's really, when it comes to marriage, man, you really have to have patience and you really have to do research. That's why when the scriptures tell us many a times, I tell people, just because you see accounts of arranged marriages in the scripture doesn't mean the arranged marriages was God authorized.
That's true.
Arranged marriages was not God authorized.
Mm.
God wasn't sitting up there saying, well, only the money gonna stick with the money. Why? Because God know I could take your money away from you any day.
Yep.
I could take your health from you any day.
And like you said, arranged marriage is the people that was getting the marriage arranged, they didn't have a choice. God all about free will.
Yeah.
You know, so if the choice is taken away from them, how can that be from God?
Exactly. If your choice of finding the love of your life is taken away from you, if your choice of choosing your mate is taken away from you, where's your dominion in that?
Mm.
Why? Because you have to be accountable.
Yes.
For what you pursue.
Yeah.
You have to be accountable for what you choose. You have to be accountable for what you pick.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So now it says Orpah went back. Now in the process of seeking someone suitable in the Lord, like you said, you can't go back to your old ways and your old habits.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? I get it. We live in a loose society now. You know, but for the best of that opportunity, going back to your old you is not doing anything. It's not helping you at all. You understand? Yeah. I'm gonna live put like this. I would never be a married man today if I was still trying to be a rascal.
Yeah. Yeah.
It don't align up.
That don't mix.
It don't mix. Yeah. Not saying that rascals can't get married, because rascals get married all the time.
Yep.
But they slowly for surely after that get divorced too.
Mm.
Because being a rascal and being married don't line up.
Mm-hmm.
So
you either one or the other.
You either one or the other. Like I said, you can't serve two masters.
Mm-hmm.
You know, do you really want this life?
Mm.
Do you really want that man? Do you really want this type of woman? Are you willing to do what it takes to get them?
Mm.
All right, let's keep going. We got a lot more to get through.
Ruth said, "Entreat me not to leave thee or to return from following after thee. For whither thou goest, I will go." And
turn up a little bit, my brother.
Yeah.
Thy people shall be my people, and thy God my God.
Yeah, that's good.
Where thou diest, will I die, and there will I be buried. The Lord do so to me, and more also, if aught but death part thee and me. When she saw that she was steadfastly minded to go with her, then she left speaking unto her. So they two went until they came to Bethlehem. And it came to pass, when they were come to Bethlehem, that all the city was moved about them. And they said, "Is this Naomi?" And she said unto them, "Call me not Naomi, call me Mara. For the Almighty hath dealt very bitterly with me. I went out full, and the Lord hath brought me home again empty. Why then call ye me Naomi, seeing the Lord hath testified against me, and the Almighty hath afflicted me?" So Naomi returned, and Ruth the Moabitess, her daughter-in-law, with her, which returned out of the country of Moab, and they came to Bethlehem in the beginning of barley harvest. Chapter 2. And Naomi had a kinsman of her husband's, a mighty man of wealth, of the family of Elimelech, and his name was Boaz. And Ruth the Moabitess said unto Naomi, "Let me now go to the field and glean ears of corn after him in whose sight I shall find grace."
Okay. This is what I want women to understand. And Ruth the Moabitess said unto Naomi, "Let me now go to the field and glean ears of corn after him whose sight I shall find grace." And she said unto her, "Go, my daughter." She said, "Let me go and glean ears of corn after him in whose sight I shall find grace."
Mm.
In whose sight that she shall find grace. Intentionally, women, intentionally. Now, you have to intentionally put yourself in the sight of that man you say you want.
Mm.
Not saying you gotta chase him, but you gotta let him know you're there.
Mm.
You gotta let him know you're there, because when he the man, and he's the man of these high standards and these high values and these high morals and this abundant money, you gotta understand there's a lot of women shooting after him. You gotta put yourself in the sight to where this man can see.
Mm.
You gotta put you gotta put yourself. It's competition out here.
A little bit before that, That say glean ears of corn, my brother. That sounds like work to me. You know what I'm saying?
Glean ears of corn. I'm glad you brought that up, because that's part of what I'm gonna speak on. Glean ears of corn after him in the sight. Now, glean back then means to accumulate.
Mm-hmm.
You know, glean. Obviously, I'm here to pick. I'm here to work. I'm here to gather.
Yep.
She was gathering food. Glean of today means gather information.
Mm-hmm.
That means you got to be patient.
Gotta be patient.
You in pursuit of this man that you say that you want. You got to go find out the information. You got to go find out the information is if he's the man that everybody say he is.
Mm.
And it takes time, which means you can't meet him tonight and sleep with him tomorrow.
Mm.
You got to gather some information. You got to make sure he pans out. You got to make sure his walk matches talk.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You got to intentionally put himself in your sight.
Mm-hmm.
Why? To where he can find grace. He can find grace on you. And then when you intentionally seek his attention, how are you intentionally seeking his attention?
Mm.
If all the rest of the girls running around here scantily clad with no clothes on, are you doing the same thing?
If you are, you're not gonna stand out.
You're not gonna stand out. What are you gonna do to make you stand out? And when you're trying to stand out, is your stand out holy or unholy?
Mm.
That's what you got to take into account. Because you got to understand, you're saying God is bringing you to a scriptural book to find a scriptural man that a lot of women don't get. So this is all based upon holy principles.
Mm.
So when you're trying to stand out, how are you trying to stand out?
Mm.
Is it holy how you're trying to stand out? Is you're holy? So when you gleaning, when you gathering that information and you putting yourself in his sights, it's going to lead to one thing. And I'm going to show you what it's going to lead to. What it's going to lead to. And I wish I could play this off the screen, but I don't know why it's not letting me play this off the screen.
You said you got to go to YouTube to click it.
Yeah, I got to keep going back and forth to click it.
Back and forth.
And she said unto her, Go, my daughter. And she went and came and gleaned in the field after the reapers. And her hap was to light on a part of the field belonging unto Boaz, who was of the kindred of Elimelech. And behold, Boaz came from Bethlehem, and said unto the reapers, The Lord be with you. And they answered him, The Lord bless thee. Then said Boaz unto his servant that was set over the reapers, Whose damsel is this? And the servant that was set over the reapers answered and said, It is the Moabitish damsel that came back with Naomi out of the country of Moab.
Okay. Ruth 265. When she put herself into the sight of the person she was trying to find grace, what did Boaz say? Ruth 265, Boaz say, Whose damsel is this?
Mm-hmm.
Who is this woman?
Yeah.
You got to put yourself in a position to where this man could check you out too.
Mm-hmm. The betting goes on both sides.
The betting goes on both sides.
Yep.
He got to make sure that you the woman you say you are.
Mm-hmm.
Whose damsel is this? And she said, that's the servant that was set over the reapers, and answered and said, the Moabitish damsel that came back with Naomi out of the country of Moab. You will find out that this man that you gleaning is gleaning you too. He trying to figure out who you are.
Do your talk and your walk match?
Do your talk and your walk match? Because you got to understand, this is a person that I'm going to marry according to being in the Lord, which means I'm going to spend the rest of my life with this person. That means everything I got coming with me is hers now.
Mm-hmm.
I got to make sure this woman line up.
Yes, sir.
You want to make sure, you trying to make sure that I got everything right. You trying to make sure my money right. You trying to make sure my socioeconomic status right. Hold on. I gotta make sure that you're really who you are. And let me keep going.
And she said, I pray you let me glean and gather after the reapers among the sheaves. So she came, and hath continued even from the morning until now, that she tarried a little in the house. Then said Boaz unto Ruth, Hearest thou not, my daughter? Go not to glean in another field, neither go from hence, but abide here fast by my maiden.
Okay. After Boaz found out who she was, and she got his interest, Boaz told her. Then Boaz said unto Ruth, Hear thou not my daughter. Go not glean in another field, neither go henceforward, but abide here fast by my maidens.
Come a little closer.
Come a little closer. He told you at the end of the day, now you got my attention. Now you got my attention. I'm checking you out. I'm trying to vet to see who you are. I bet not see you with nobody else. You can't be out here talking about you want me, but you out here, you out here Monday with me. You out here Wednesday with John. You out here Friday with Jack. You out here Sunday with another person, but you talking about you really interested in me. Oh, because I'm single. And hold on, you ain't even giving me my right shot at getting the win you over.
Yep.
How I'm gonna take you serious, but I done saw you out here with 4 or 5 different women. I mean, 4 or 5 different men.
Yeah.
I better not see you in another man's field. That plays a part.
Big part.
If you got my interest, man, and I come out here and I see you 2 or 3 days a week and you with 2 or 3 different men, oh, I'm looking at you different now. Because one thing with a man, when you see someone he interested in, he ain't trying to let her see it with nobody else.
It's true.
You know what I'm saying?
It's true.
Now, this is where the liberation of women gonna kick in. You can't tell me what to do. Are you willing to do what it takes to get this type of character in your life? Are you willing to be patient? If this is a man that you really say you interested in, and he checking off boxes, are you willing to sacrifice to get this man? Remember, this is what you say you want. It's just like telling somebody who want a scholarship. You really say you want this scholarship? Are you really willing to put in the work to get this scholarship?
Yeah, come holler at me in class on Saturday. Come do some extra Saturday classes. You willing to do that?
You willing to do some Saturday classes? You willing to forgo all these parties and getting drunk and doing like all these people who ain't gonna make it gonna do? Are you willing to shut down this and not put yourself in a position to where you're gonna get a girl pregnant that's gonna mess off you going to college? Are you willing to do that? How bad do you want it?
Good question.
You got to understand the scriptures also say, whosoever finds a wife finds a good thing. If I see this woman, this is the woman that I really want. If I really want this woman, and I'm saying this woman is the woman, why am I going to be, every time I go around her, I'm on hands with 4 or 5 different women? But I'm telling her, you the one though.
Yeah. Your actions and your words ain't lining up.
And then on top of that, women have bought into this ideology of, well, I don't want a man who ain't got hoes because I want a man that other women are attracted to. Why he got why you have to see this imagery of that to you know other women gonna be attracted to him.
Mm.
This is how far we have gotten away from holy acts of dating or trying to get to be with somebody.
Mm.
I don't want a man unless he got hoes. And you think once he finally gets you, the hoes gonna go somewhere? When you said I don't want him unless he got him, and now he's supposed to give him up now because he got you. That's backwards to me.
That's backwards, bro.
All right, let's keep rolling, man.
Let thine eyes be on the field that they do reap, and go thou after them. Have I not charged the young men that they shall not touch thee? And when thou art athirst, go unto the vessels, and drink of that which the young men have drawn. Then she fell on her face, and bowed herself to the ground, and said unto him, Why have I found grace in thine eyes, that thou shouldest take knowledge of me, seeing I am a stranger? And Boaz answered and said unto her, It hath fully been showed me all that thou hast done unto thy mother-in-law since the death of thine husband, and how thou hast left thy father and thy mother and the land of thy nativity, and art come unto a people which thou knewest not heretofore.
Okay. 2 and 10. 2 and 10. She said, How did I find grace in your eyes? How did I find grace in your eyes? Boaz said, it was answered. Boaz answered and said unto her, I have fully been showed all those thou hast done for your mother-in-law since the death of her husband. I've been shown that your heart is genuine.
Yep.
And that's something that money can't buy.
But before that, she fell on her face.
Please tell me why you were interested in me. I got to know. I got to know why are you showing me so much love? I need to see your motives. What is your motive? Tell me why you really interested in me. What's going on here?
She fell on her face though, my brother, and humbled herself.
Exactly.
I mean, are these people that want a Boaz, are you willing to do that?
Are you willing to humble yourself? And I said, without parading it, are you willing to let that man see your genuine heart? Show that man that you possess something that money can't buy.
Facts.
What are you bringing to the table that's a life changer for that man? Boaz said, I didn't heard what you done for a woman after her husband had died that you didn't have to do. You could have left. You could have went back like the other gal.
Like your sister did.
You could have went back like your sister-in-law did.
Yep.
But you stayed. Why? Because if something happens to me, are you going to be able to look out for my mother? Are you going to dip on my mother to another man? Are you going to dip on my children to another man? She didn't dip. Even in death. Don't get it wrong. Ruth is going to go get remarried. Yes. Which scripturally said once your husband is gone, he's gone. You can go get remarried. That's scriptural law. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yes.
But at the end of the day, it's how she did it though.
Yep.
It's the process of how she done it.
Yes.
And it's the respect of how she done it.
Yes. She gained that looks. She gained trust like that.
She gained trust like that.
Like, oh, okay, yeah. If something happened to me, you gonna look after my people, because that's what your habit. That you did that before without even knowing me.
Yeah,
that's your character.
So
I respect that.
Yeah. So what I'm telling women now is like, I'm not telling you that, hey, that you have to aligned to actually what Ruth have done. But what I'm saying is, when you showing that man who genuinely who you are, or when you trying to show that man why he should be sold on you, is it genuine? Is this really who you are? If are you telling me something at the dinner table, but then 2 or 3 days later, it ain't lining up to what you said at the dinner table?
Yep.
Because I'm paying attention to all that, and vice versa. Vice versa for women.
Yes. But Boaz said it was shown to him that she did that before.
Exactly.
So if that's who you are, that's going to precede you. That's going to be your reputation. Oh, okay. He, she, 100. You know what I mean? Yeah. I can trust this person.
I can trust
with my life, like you say, with my life.
Yeah.
Basically,
who you are is who you say you are.
Yes.
And it ain't no wavering from that.
Yes.
And that's something that money can't buy. You know? So, all right. Let's keep it rocking and rolling because we almost coming to the end of this message. Got a lot more scriptures in that pass.
The Lord recompense thy work, and a full reward be given thee of the Lord God of Israel, under whose wings thou art come to trust. And she said, Let me find favor in thy sight, my Lord, for that thou hast comforted me, and for that thou hast spoken friendly unto thine handmaid, though I be not like unto one of thine handmaidens. And Boaz said unto her, At mealtime come thou hither, and eat of the bread, and dip thy morsel in the vinegar. And she sat beside the reapers, and he reached her parched corn, and she did eat, and was sufficed, and left. And when she was risen up to glean, Boaz commanded his young men, saying, Let her glean even among the sheaves, and reproach her not. And let fall also some of the handfuls of purpose for her, and leave them, that she may glean them, and rebuke her not. So she gleaned in the field until even, and beat out that she had gleaned, and it was about an ephah of barley. And she took it up, and went into the city. And her mother-in-law saw what she had gleaned. And she brought forth and gave to her that she had reserved after she was sufficed. And her mother-in-law said unto her, Where hast thou gleaned today? And where wroughtest thou? Blessed be he that did take knowledge of thee. And she showed her mother-in-law with whom she had wrought, and said, The man's name with whom I wrought today is Boaz. And Naomi said unto her daughter-in-law, Blessed be he of the Lord, who hath not left off his kindness to the living and to the dead. And Naomi said unto her, The man is near of kin unto us, one of our next kinsmen. And Ruth the Moabitess said, He said unto me also, Thou shalt keep fast by my young men until they have ended all my harvest. And Naomi said unto Ruth her daughter-in-law, It is good, my daughter, that thou go out with his maidens, that they meet thee not in any other field.
All right. Now, Ruth just told her, this is what women need to understand too. Every woman that tries to give you advice is not your enemy. Every woman that tries to give you advice is not out to take your man. It's not out to take who you're interested in. And sometimes you have these older women that'll tell you something like, just like Naomi just told Ruth, don't let that man see you in another field. Because everything that he invested in you, you're gonna mess him up if he catch you around somewhere you ain't supposed to be. Now
it take a long time to build trust.
It take a long time to build. Yeah,
you can break it quick.
You can break it quick. It takes a long time to build that rapport, to build that image, and then if something you show me and it don't line up, it's going because you got to think about it. If you after me and you interested in me and I'm a millionaire, and you just solely like all about me, that's different. I might believe that you ain't here for my money, but if I turn back around, I see you on the next millionaire coat. I see you different now. If I turn back around 2 or 3 days later, I see you on another millionaire coat. Oh no, this is just who she is. Yeah, she trying to get a meal ticket. This ain't do wasn't nothing real. She talked a good game. She almost had me fooled.
Yeah. Yep.
So are you willing to be patient? Naomi said, Don't let him catch you in no other field. Are you willing to be patient and see the process through? Which means a lot of women, it's simple. When you're dealing with someone, is he the only one? Until you find out that he's not the one. Or is it him and he in competition with 3 or 4 other dudes because you feel like just because you can go date multiple people don't mean you should.
It's true.
Y'all have to understand that there's just a way that society looks at things that it's just going it's your certain images will mess you over. That's just facts.
Especially if we talk scripturally.
Yeah, especially if we talking scripturally. We talking trying to pursue this Boaz character and trying to date in a holy space. Yeah. In a holy space.
Yeah, he was a holy man.
Yeah. He was a holy man. So at the end of the day, you can't be in dating this person. You can't be dating this person in the church, and then 2-3 days later, you're going out with another person in the church. But you still dating this person in the church, and then 2 or 3 days later, you going on another date just because they eligible and they suitable. Hey, I'm gonna give this shot. I'm gonna give this opportunity all I can, and if it don't pan out, I remember that you came across my, once you know what I'm saying. Just once it's done, it's done. But when you trying to shuffle too many at one time, that's not gonna look good. So, all right, let's rock and roll.
So she kept fast by the maidens of Boaz to glean unto the end of barley harvest and of wheat harvest, and dwelt with her mother-in-law. Chapter 3. Then Naomi, her mother-in-law, said unto her, My daughter, shall I not seek rest for thee, that it may be well with thee? And now, is not Boaz of our kindred, with whose maidens thou wast? Behold, he winnoweth barley tonight in the threshing floor. Wash thyself, therefore, and anoint thee, and put thy raiment upon thee, and get thee down to the floor. But make not thyself known unto the man until he shall have done eating and drinking. And it shall be, when he lieth down, that thou shalt mark the place where he shall lie, and thou shalt go in and uncover his feet, and lay thee down, and he will tell thee what thou shalt do. And she said unto her, All that thou sayest unto me I will do. And she went down unto the floor, and did according to all that her mother-in-law bade her. And when Boaz had eaten and drunk, and his heart was merry, he went to lie down at the end of the heap of corn. And she came softly, and uncovered his feet, and laid her down. And it came to pass at midnight, that the man was afraid, and turned himself, and behold, a woman lay at his feet. And he said, Who art thou? And she answered, I am Ruth, thine handmaid. Spread therefore thy skirt over thine handmaid, for thou art a near kinsman. And he said, Blessed be thou of the Lord, my daughter, for thou hast showed more kindness in the latter end than at the beginning, inasmuch as thou followedst not young men, whether poor or rich. And now, my daughter, fear not. I will do to thee all that thou requirest. For all the city of my people doth know that thou art a virtuous woman. And now it is true that I am thy near kinsman. Howbeit, there is a kinsman nearer than I. Tarry this night, and it shall be in the morning, that if he will perform unto thee the part of a kinsman, well, let him do the kinsman's part. But if he will not do the part of a kinsman to thee, then will I do the part of a kinsman to thee, as the Lord liveth. Lie down until the morning. And she lay at his feet until the morning, and she rose up before one could know another. And he said, Let it not be known that a woman came into the floor. Also he said, Bring the veil that thou hast upon thee, and hold it. And when she held it, he measured 6 measures of barley, and laid it on her, and she went into the city. And when she came to her mother-in-law, she said, Who art thou, my daughter? And she told her all that the man had done to her. And she said, These 6 measures of barley gave he me, for he said to me, Go not empty unto thy mother-in-law. Then said she, Sit still, my daughter, until thou know how the matter will fall. For the man will not be at rest until he have finished the thing this day.
All right. That's my final point right here. That's the final point right here. The final point. After Boaz and showed her all his favor, showed her that he was interested in her and things of that nature. You have to understand, I can't tell you exactly what it was in the book. I want to say in the book of Timothy. I want to believe where it says, how mothers should teach their daughters, good things. Teach them how to love, their husbands. Teach them how to be wives. Teach them how to be clean. Teach them how to be chaste, and all that stuff of that nature. Teach them how to not be quiet and be peaceful and things of that nature. All throughout this, what women have to understand is that there should be a woman that's a holy woman, there's a woman that's perceived to be holy, that is living somewhat of a life that you're living, that you possibly need in your life, that's guiding you, is telling you the right things. That's telling you, as the old mothers would say, nah, you shouldn't want to do this, you shouldn't want to do that. Like, don't do this, don't do this, don't be loud, don't wear that. There should be a woman guiding you into how to pick this man this holy man, to pick this man of great stature, this man of nobility. There's a woman who should be telling you how to pick this. You have to be careful of who you decide to take advice from.
Very true.
Very true.
I think you said in an earlier podcast, my brother, keep the jewels, leave the junk.
Yeah.
Keep the gems. Yeah. I'm sorry, the gems. You said.
Yeah, keep the gems and leave the junk. Keep the gems and leave the junk. And with that being said, is that as a woman, just like as a man, who we take information from is very vital. Who we allow to speak in our life and allow to speak over our lives is very vital. And I'm gonna be honest with you. And I can even talk to myself, because me talking to you, at the end of the day, I could be honest with you. As a friend, I can honestly say there was times where I told you some very unfriendly things. As in living life. Like there should never be time that I should have been telling you, man. You know what I'm saying? Don't do that. Don't knock that. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And that's just because I was in a different place in my life. You see what I'm saying? Now, today in my life, I'm in a different place. So I'm not going to tell you these. But it's certain people who still telling you or trying to tell you the same thing. So as a woman, and you trying to pursue marriage as a woman or as a man, if you trying to pursue marriage, you said marriage is what you want. There are certain people that's going to tell you things that don't align up with marriage. You probably shouldn't be listening to them. There's going to be certain people who's going to tell you things that don't align up to a holy pursuit of marriage. You probably shouldn't be listening to them, because if you're looking for a holy pursuit of marriage now, if you're looking for trying to be in a holy marriage, you probably don't want to take information and advice from people who are living unholy. Yes, you can always sit back and you can pay attention to their life and see what not to do. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But like Naomi was telling her, you done did everything up until this point. And this is where I come to end this, to telling women. Now, this is all based on a holy pursuit of a relationship, a holy pursuit of dating, a holy pursuit of trying to get this Boaz figure and get married. First of all, you have to understand what type of world we living in. And just because we living in a particular world don't mean you have to conform to it. If every man you see is not trying to live holy, if you know you're trying to get your right life with God, but the man you want or the man you interested in is not trying to hear it, Why are you wasting your time? Stop begging God to change people. Stop wasting your prayers on God telling him to change folks. They have to want to change. They have to want to change. A person has to genuinely want to change for themselves, which means there's no amount of praying that you're going to do that's going to make them want to change until they want to change. So stop trying to hook up with people who are not walking how you want your mate to walk. And then spending 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years with them hoping that they're going to change. No. You're wasting your time. You're wasting your time.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, and like I said at the beginning of this, there's a famine in the land. There's a famine in the land. Y'all have to understand. For y'all women, you have to understand there's a famine in the land. Many of dudes that you meet, when you come hitting them with scriptures and telling them how you want to get your life right, they gonna most likely tell you, man, I ain't big in the church. I ain't trying to hear it. If you know that's not, believe what they tell you. If they telling you this is not it, why are you wasting your time for? I.e., if you a man looking for a woman of good virtual scriptural principle, and you know she still want to be out here thotting, she still want to be out here hot girl summer, she still want to be out here city girling. You know what I'm saying? Nothing against the women who coin those phrases, but if she want to be out here, she don't want to be out here dressed modestly like you think she should. Like, you have to understand, the scripture says people are at liberty to marry whom they will. She's at liberty to marry whom she will. Just like she's at liberty to marry whom she will, you as a man is at liberty to marry whom you will.
It's true.
Stop chasing people that you know you don't want to be with like that.
Yes.
Stop chasing people and trying to lock people down that you know that's not living the representation of how you want them, how you want your mate to be. I don't want a woman out here who dressing half naked. So guess what? I ain't even for to pursue a woman who out here dressing half naked.
There you go. Yep. Don't you waste your time with that.
I ain't wasting my time with that. Why I'm finna sit here? I caught her half naked, but I'm trying to change her not to be half naked.
Nah.
That's wasting time. That's going backwards.
It ain't gonna happen.
When there's so many women out here who already, not to look down on the woman or the sister who have naked, but at the end of the day, there's so many women out here who already you ain't got to worry about that with. So save all I'm saying is save the headaches in who you pursue.
There you go.
Save the headaches in who you make yourself available to. Save the headaches.
Yep.
Save the headaches.
Yep.
And at the end of the day, and I end off with this. Ruth said, then she said, sit still, my daughter, until thou know how the matter will fall. For the man will not be in rest until he have finished the thing this day. So at the end of the day, when you have put yourself in position as a holy woman and you stuck to your holy principles and you stuck to your holy morals and you put yourself out there and you not out here trying to show yourself like the world and you holding fast. If you saying you want to be celibate to marry and you held out to it, rest in that. Rest in that. Sit still, like she told Nate. Sit still, like she told. Sit still. You told them this is who you are. Sit still in that. And if they accept that, they accept that. If they don't, they don't. If you tell them I don't want to have sex until I'm married, sit still in that. If you told them I'm gonna be in church and my man gotta be in church, sit still in that. If they don't want to deal with that, sit still in that.
There you go.
You have to find you a place to where you have to sit still and not a waver. That no matter how many years come, no matter how many days come, no matter how many months come, no matter how many years come, even until your death. Because you got to understand, at the end all be all, you belong to God anyway. Like the scriptures say, save yourself. Stop worrying about, don't get it wrong. If you find yourself in divine alignment with a man that's going to live according to the scriptures like you want him to live, that's fine. do that. But at the end of that, if you can't find no eligible suitor in a man or a woman, sit still in your morals, sit still in your principles, even until your death, and know that at the end of the day, I'm gonna be all right with God.
Yeah.
When I leave here.
Yeah.
Not I died trying to please my husband or my wife who's not trying to live with God, because now you made them your God. Now you serving somebody who don't even want nothing to do with God because they're just your husband. Because you got to think about it. Like the scripture says, once you get married to a person, it don't matter if they'll believe or not. You already made that covenant with that person. You made that covenant with that person. That's a whole. We're gonna break that down on a whole nother day too.
That's another show.
That's another show. So sit still and rest in peace, and not trying to force something. People gonna accept you, but you gotta be, like you said, you gotta walk it how you talking. You gotta practice what you you gotta sit still in your morals and not waver from it for no man and no woman. So this book of Ruth, man, this goes out to both men and women.
Yeah,
I hope that me and Roti kind of have helped people.
Yeah.
Like I said, there's so many ways. There's like 3 or 4 different ways I could have broke this down. But this is just according to dating.
Yeah.
And I want people to understand.
I want to get in there too, man. I want to my boy beside boss over there rocking and rolling. I'm not gonna say as much as, but what I took from that, you say you want Boaz, that's the goal. Yeah. You gotta you can't just look at her getting Boaz, you gotta look at the whole story. First of all,
gotta look at the process.
And if you married, it's not gonna disqualify you. Is if you were married, but can't be your husband had to pass away. If we just encapsulate everything we done spoke on today, you know what I'm saying? You like we used the Russell Wilson and Sierra example. Yeah, Russell Wilson already married to the first one he got with off top. So okay, if you was married, you need to go to your husband that you married. Yeah, so if this is for the people that's not that hasn't been married, or your husband has passed away, or your wife, because this is to both genders.
It's vice versa, yeah.
Vice versa. So you can't marry nobody else if you already been married. She had to make a choice whether to go back or keep going forward. She did her mother-in-law a certain way. First of all, she was being virtuous.
Yeah, she was being virtuous.
Coming up, asking God really what I wanted, virtue. You know what I mean? That's really the key, a big key in who I would choose to, make my wife. Are you virtuous? Right. Not just to get a man. Right. That's who you are. You know what I mean? And men, we should also strive to be virtuous too. That's not just for women. We should try to give what we want, and be genuinely doing it. And and I say this, Ruth, if you just look at the whole story, Ruth, she completed a lot of tasks. She did a lot of things. She just didn't meet Boaz or saw his, like the youngsters say, they saw his drip and he came and scooped her. And that was it. She had to go through a gauntlet to get him. You know what I mean? He had to see the virtue in her. That's why she got chosen. You know what I mean? So if you're doing all that, and you like we said earlier, if you want to relate it to a scholarship, are you willing to go to Saturday, Sunday classes? Are you willing to do extra work? Are you willing to separate yourself from the people that just work Monday through Friday, 8 to 5 or whatever? Are you willing to do extra if you want a Boaz? Because we'll see. But it's not just you see a Boaz, he gonna come get you, and we ride off happy in the sunset. Don't work like that. Yeah, you're gonna have to put some work in. Both, and for the man that's a Boaz, you gotta, work to get your wealth up and get yourself up. But then you have to be able to see the woman as virtuous too. You know what I mean? You have to do your work. So it's always work. Like you can attest because you married. Marriage is, You know, it seems like that's a 24/7 job there, my brother. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It ain't just we gonna get married. We ain't just gonna get married and then we just gonna ride off in the sunset. You know, you gotta maintain that marriage, huh, my brother?
Yeah, you gotta maintain it, man.
It ain't, you know,
you gotta maintain it. It takes work.
It ain't all just roses and peaches.
Nah, my brother. It ain't just all roses and peaches, man. You gotta maintain it. You gotta keep it fresh. One thing I said, you gotta grow with God because God gonna leave like the scripture said, let God be true and let every other man be a liar. At the end of the day, the word has never steered me wrong. Yeah, don't get me wrong. The word has made it painful to me because I had to realize some true epiphanies and some things that just can't go down. As simple as that. But just listening to man gonna always trying to maneuver around and find a back way and find a loophole and all that. Yeah. And then word gonna tell you straight up, you just can't do it. You know what I'm saying? So you got to grow within that. You got to grow within that word, man, and you got to think about it, man. Just to get the treasure out of these people, man. You got it, like you said. It's don't get it twisted, you know, man. And I want to tell women, you have a treasure in you. I want to tell young men, you got a treasure in you. Yes, and the reality of it is that y'all give up y'all treasures for nothing nowadays. Y'all don't vet nothing really. You don't glean. You don't glean no people. You ain't gleaning nobody. You know what I'm saying? You ain't being patient with the process. You know, it's all about instant gratification. I get her, she look good. I'm trying to hit that because if I don't, her eyes gonna get to jumping on something else, or my eyes gonna get to jump. It's all about instant gratification. Yep. And you know, it's simple. It's crazy how yesteryear was about patience, and today's is about instant gratification. Yep. That's the difference between the times.
It's true.
Patience and instant gratification. That's it. Are you willing to sacrifice instant gratification to get what you really say you want? 2, are you really willing to sacrifice instant gratification so God can open up your eyes to show you what you really are made for, what you really are purpose to have? And don't get it twisted. What you may be purpose to have may don't look like a IG model. You understand? But her heart, like the book of Ruth said, she was from a whole different country of women that Boaz shouldn't even be desiring because they was looked at as less beneath. They weren't even looked at as a desirable women to those women.
Yeah.
Boaz had a fleet of maidens that he could have picked from.
Yep.
But he saw something.
Yep.
He saw something that he ain't never seen before from somewhere else. He saw something that wasn't attached with something. And he saw something that was genuine. Yeah, it may don't look the best. But guess what?
Yep.
It's worth it.
It's worth it.
You know? And a lot of things that worth it, money can't buy. You know, ladies, it ain't all about his money. Being Boaz is not all about money. Money is a byproduct of the man. And trust me, that man can get money. How you know you ain't the missing piece to that man getting money? And I get it. Wanting to have somebody who's already got it together. But life is about building.
Yeah.
If you look at the beginning of time to now, life is about constantly building. So you're gonna have to build something with somebody.
Yeah.
But I get it. Like I said, we live in a world where everybody wants instant gratification. I want the yacht ride. I met you Thursday. I want the yacht ride on Friday.
Yeah. Yep.
I don't want the yacht ride 10 years from now.
Yeah. Yep. Riding the jet the next week. I want to
ride in the jet the next week. I don't want it 5 years from now. I don't have to. Why should I have to show you that I deserve this when it should just be given to me? Now we live in a whole backward society.
Yeah,
you know. So with that, that's the end of my spin on just a few tips that I can give you dating throughout the Book of Ruth for all the people who want to go through the Book of Ruth. And pretty much ain't nothing happening after this. You get Boaz and they go on to be together and things of that nature. You know, they get the happy ending.
Yeah.
So let me close down this. Stop share on that real quick. Close that down. And let's move, man, to some stroll down the TL, my brother. Let's see what we got out there.
Okay.
Kind of look at it, maybe about a good 10, 15 minutes, see what we got out there. Okay. But yeah, man,